Hey, you guys. Welcome and welcome back. I forgot my doggone selfie stick, knowing doggone well I was going to talk to you guys about something. But we here anyway, child. The one day that I decided to go out and try to solve my big back problems, it would be cloudy and raining. But it was very refreshing because when I started to get hot and sweat, it didn't feel as bad. So I went ahead and took a walk around. I went around my neighborhood, but I actually left out of the neighborhood. But I wanted to talk to you guys about some things that I was thinking about, like on my walk. And it's crazy because I was going to talk to you guys about a whole different topic. And it just didn't happen that way. Because a few things happened to me on my walk today that were very synchronistic. Some people would call it ironic or coincidental. But me personally, you guys, I don't believe in coincidences. Y'all let me know in the comments if you believe in coincidences or what would constitute a coincidence for you versus something that's like aligned or synchronistic, because I feel like the two are different. I feel like synchronicity and alignment and what some in the religious community may call like divine order, some people see that type of stuff as like coincidence or irony or happenstance, where it's like they don't look like it as something that they don't look like it as if it's something that's as concrete or decisive as other people who believe in synchronicities and things like that not being a coincidence. But long story short, when I went on my walk, there's just a few things going on right now in my life that I think a lot of us are dealing with on different levels. And when I was on my walk, for some reason, there was a voice in the back of my head that told me to do something differently, like to go in a different direction. And I tend to hear those voices a lot, but excuse me, ooh, child. Sometimes I don't pay attention to them all the time. Sometimes I ignore those voices and I just kind of push them away or pass it off and like block it out of my mind. But over time, over the years of my life, that has proven to be a little bit counterproductive for me, right? And sometimes it's like fear that pops up in your mind to try to scare you away from something that you feel like you should do. But sometimes the voices are very clear and they're not attached to really any emotion. And that's how I've been able to discern the difference between the voices that are coming from a place of fear when I'm getting ready to do something that I should do and want to do and that could possibly take me to another level, and the voices that are actually guiding me, because there's a difference between the two. The fear voice and the devil on your shoulder voice, or, the self-hatred, self-deprecating, putting yourself down voice, those are different from the voices of ordained like sources, or the voices of like your angels and your guardian angels and your guides. So I'm walking, y'all, right? And it's a pleasant walk. I saw my maintenance man. He was like, "You would decide to come out and walk when it's raining." I said, "I know that's right," because I sure did, like a goof. But it was funny. He said, "Hey, how you doing?" We spoke. I walked out the neighborhood, and I usually don't go to the right. I usually go to the left. And then I walk all the way down the main street until I get to a certain point. Whenever I get tired and feel like I want to turn around, and then I turn around, right? So today, I went to the left. I did the same thing I usually do, which didn't feel different to me. I just was following my plan. And then all of a sudden I got to this neighborhood and something told me to turn into the neighborhood. And I was like, it was like, how do I explain this? Because I feel like this video is about following your inner guidance, or I don't know what I'm going to title it. But I guess it's about like following your inner guidance, or what your inner guidance really sounds like. Maybe something like that. I don't know. But it was so funny. And it kind of made me feel good, like warm and fuzzy on the inside. Because sometimes I hear, self-deprecating words in my head, like telling me that I'm not good enough or I can't do anything. And usually those are the echoes of, people from my past or situations that I've been through in my past trying to tell me that the same thing is going to happen, when in reality it's not. And they sound really like dark and scary, But this voice, as I approached this neighborhood, was like, maybe you should turn in there. It was like, hey, I think you should go that way. Maybe you should go over there. Maybe you should turn in there. Like, it was that type of vibe. It was like I wonder what's over there, And that's how I feel like animals feel, like squirrels and cats and dogs, where they be like, and they be sniffing around, and you be like, what the fuck? 6 minutes, my bad. But you be like, what's wrong with you? Like, what's got your attention over there? And it was kind of like that. And I think that, the example of animals is a prime example, because that speaks to a more carnal, primal instinct that we all have, that we've kind of been, pulled away from. It's been dulled down and dumbed down within us, and we don't really hear it as often. We don't really pay attention to it as much. So I heard this little voice telling me, oh, maybe you should go in there. And I was like, did I really just hear what I just heard? And I was questioning it. See, and that's where we as people, especially people who, take our connection to Source and God seriously, that's where we be messed up. Okay? Hey. That's where we end up messing ourselves up in the situation, because we doubt it. We hear the voice, we hear the recommendations, we hear what's going on when it comes to how our protective forces are trying to guide us, but then we doubt it and we question it, and we're like confused instead of just trusting it. And I guarantee you, it feels different. The positive voice feels different from the negative voice. And I was like, okay, let me just go in there, because it looked like a neighborhood that's similar to mine, but like it was different. The houses were very colorful. Everybody had a different little front yard set up. It was super cute. So as I'm walking around in there, I see something that catches my attention. And it's something that is very personal to my life. And I don't know how to explain this. It's like, you know how when you see something, like if you have a family member who passes away, or you have someone in your life who's very dear to you, or you have a really special memory, and then you come across a situation where you're led somewhere that you've never been, and then you see a symbol of that memory or of that person or of that situation. That's what happened to me as I walked through the neighborhood. And I was just like, wow, like it just took me back a little bit, because I was like, wow, what are the odds that, first of all, that's why I told all the stories in the beginning. The maintenance man telling me you would choose to walk today, because he knows I walk, but I haven't been doing it lately. When I moved over here in the summertime, I was really like active outside. But as it got cold, I was like, the, what was it, the clovers on Bring It On? I said, burr. It's cold in here. I said it must be some, I don't know, child, precipitation in the atmosphere, because I was not going outside. But that's why I told that story, because first of all, he is a representation of me not really being outside as much as I usually am. And the one day I choose to come outside, not only at the time I choose to come outside, it was like, I can't explain to y'all exactly what happened. I promise I will tell you guys at a later time. But the timing of everything it matched up, okay? It really did match up. And it brought that, like, that thought of synchronicity and alignment and, being in the right place at the right time to be able to see what I saw and catch it at the time that I caught it. It made it all come together. So, I was going to talk to you guys about like something else totally today. But what I feel I want to express in this video is just to trust that part of yourself that guides you and leads you to the place that you didn't know you needed to go so that you could see what you didn't know you needed to see. And that's kind of, I feel like, what life is about. And there's a lot of times where we really try to control the outcome of situations. We really try to control all of the dynamics and how things align and when they align and what it's going to look like, how it's going to feel. And you just get your expectations so wrapped up and built up into something that you not only deserve and want, more than likely for a good reason, hopefully, but also something that isn't yet tangible. So you have it's like you run the risk of setting yourself up to be disappointed, when in reality, if we were able to temper our expectations and just allow the events that are meant to unfold without being so attached to how they unfold and what it all looks like, more than likely we would be a lot happier. More than likely we would be able to accept what comes our way and to decipher and discern what it means more clearly. Because sometimes, I was going to talk to you guys about, like, a lot of people are getting laid off, right? And, they're doing hiring freezes and people can't find jobs. Even though you see people hiring, it's like, it feels like companies are just putting out recs online and putting hiring signs in the window just to make it seem like they're hiring, when in reality they're not. They're actually laying people off, firing people, cutting back on hiring, freezing hiring. And it's like, it's some real gaslighting type shit, because you're gaslighting the people into thinking that there's some type of hiring possibility, but then that's not actually what you're doing. It's like a gaslighting situation. So then if you're a person who has been laid off and you're trying to find a job and you can't find a job, your people around you, whether it's like bill collectors that you owe money to, leasing companies, landlords, banks for mortgages, or, even your family members, your friends, your spouse, people who may not be experiencing the same situation as you, they wonder, like, what's wrong with you? Like, why aren't you able to find a job? Why did you even get laid off in the first place? Is it something that you were doing? Or is it something that was you might tell somebody, well, we just got laid off. It was unexpected, whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. And people start to question after you struggle to get back on your feet or to find another job. Well, did you really get laid off because of layoffs, or did you do something to get laid off? Because now it's like you can't find a job, so it must be something wrong with you. And then they start questioning, like, your ability to be proficient in what it is that you do, when in reality, the companies are gaslighting everybody into believing that there's this, this great hiring extravaganza, when that's not actually what's happening. And I just feel like it's manipulation. And I was going to talk to you guys about that and, like, what it means when you get laid off, like what it really means. But I think all of this kind of ties into it together. I might go into that more later on at another time, because I don't want this video to be too long. But that's really what I was going to talk to you guys about, is like that whole process and what it actually means. But a part of it is reminiscent to what we've already been talking about, which is that when things kind of just happen, you never know if you're going to be thrust into a certain reality. You never know what life is going to show you or teach you in every moment. But the more you're able to sit back, collect yourself, collect your thoughts, and just quiet your mind, the easier you'll be able to follow the path that your protective, team is laying out for you. Because I was listening to a podcast and everything. Like, I had my headphones in. I was listening to a podcast. And I still heard the voice. It's like an essence of a voice. Tell me, hey, why don't you go in there? And it was just funny. So I think that's something. See, child, I'd be so sick of these folks. I think that's something that I really feel that the situations in our lives right now are trying to teach us. Whether it's a layoff, whether it's getting fired, whether it's a divorce or a breakup, whether it's some type of legal issues, whether it's eviction, okay, whether it's, repossession of your car, whatever the situation is that is happening in your life right now where it feels like everything is just crumbling around you and you don't know what to do, and no matter what you try to do, it doesn't seem to work. That's the lesson in the whole thing, is that they want you to quiet your mind, listen, slow down, and let them more so effortlessly lead you to where they want you to go, And it might not feel effortless, but that's because a lot of times we fight against it. And more than likely, more times than not, the less you fight against it and the more you kind of just like surrender to the current of your life, even if it's really shitty and it looks completely fucked up and it's not fair, you will be able to see the silver lining and why you're being brought through those different things. And more than likely than not, it's not a punishment. We feel like it is, but it's really not. It's really a situation where it could be like rejection for protection, or a situation where wherever you were or whatever you were doing was temporary and it was a placeholder for something better that's actually meant for you. So I hope that helped you guys. Y'all show me some love in the comments, you guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to continue to catch the vibe. Ooh. That really helps out when you guys comment. So share this with someone who you think may need to hear it. I really enjoy making these types of videos, and I just love y'all, and I hope it helped. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.